All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Step into the Portal. We don't have Matthew this morning. It's been a couple weeks. He is traveling for his channel. Check it out, Yesland, where he travels to various locations. I think he's all around Europe right now. So go over there and check out some of his videos in the various places that he's been. So I think he's traveling and filming right now. So it'll be a couple weeks, and we'll get back to playing Universus or Star Wars on Friday mornings. But I wanted to take a chance, an opportunity, I should say. I'm not taking a chance. And just talk about some games from 2024 and then play a few with you live. So hopefully you're joining me. I hope you have a great Friday. My name is the Brandt, if you don't know. But yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day today. Maybe you're waking up, maybe you're heading out the door, maybe you're already at work and joining me. So thank you, or you're watching afterward. Thanks as well. I know a lot of you come here for Marvel Champions, and that is awesome. But I also play a lot of other board games. In fact, I'm going to talk about all these games, and if you want to hear more about them, you can check out my podcast, Right Brain Rollers, that I do bi-weekly with Eric Summer, and you can hear about a lot of board games, not just Marvel Champions, as you see a lot on this channel. So there you go. But we're going to talk through, I've got 7 games here, and then we're going to try to play 1 or 2 of them live with you and spend an hour, hour and a half together. I'm in my attic, and the cats are in the attic as well, so they're going to be running around up here. They're very excited because I never let them up here. So if I'm looking down, it's because my cats are there. Cool. All right. So I kind of felt like 2024 started slow, and there wasn't a lot of great board games. Sorry, there were a lot of good games, but not a lot of great games. And normally I go, no, people say that, and it's not a big deal. But there wasn't a lot in 2024 to begin with. And then recently, a whole bunch of games have come in that I've been able to play, and they're fantastic. And I was like, okay, here we go. Now we're picking up the year in the second half of the year and whatnot. And that's not to say that there aren't great games and people will find them. Oh, there goes a cat there. People absolutely will find some of those great games, I am sure. Things to enjoy and whatnot, but for my purposes, yeah, it's been a little bit slower. So let's try to go down to the table and see what we can see. Actually, that's pretty good. So we kind of have 2 games. We'll start here with Bardwood Grove. So this, to be fair, this was from the first half of the year. This came out in the first half of 2024, and Bardwood Grove's probably still my favorite game from the year so far. Caveat, warning, whatever you want to say, this is designed by my friend Carl Van Ostrand. So I've been playing this game for a while. I'm excited that it finally came out, but it's really neat. You are bards, and you are protecting... What are you doing, cat? No. Brandon? Oh, gosh. All right. You are protecting your village from monsters by going out and playing music to soothe the beasts. So that's the kind of idea. It's a quasi deck building game. It's really neat. You add cards to your deck, but they don't count towards your hand size. So you're drawing 2 and you're drawing more and more cards. So you're like engine building, creating a tableau, and you eventually sing a song to trigger all these events. Fantastic game. At some point this year, Kathy and I need to do a 2-player playthrough of this so that you can all see it, because it is fantastic. Bardwood Grove. Leviathan Wilds. This is a new one that just came in. And it's really neat. I don't know a lot about this. In fact, I think it's on GameFound now. A lot of these are upside down, sorry. I think it's on GameFound right now. I don't know when it came out. I don't really know everything about it. Thanks to Mooncrab Games, they sent a copy over, and I've been playing this, and it's really neat. In fact, I think this is one that I want to play with you first so you could see it. But it is a cooperative Leviathan climbing game. So you'll see how you climb up these monsters and you have to remove these crystals from their bodies, which are possessing them and making them evil, because they're actually good Leviathans. And so you have all these climbers who are brave enough to get up there and take the crystals off of them. So you're working together. It's a really interesting puzzle game. So I think we'll actually check this one out in a couple minutes. That is Mooncrab Games. Oh, this one is Final Frontier Games. All right, then we have Pirates of Maracaibo. So I've only had a chance to play this solo so far. Maracaibo is one of my favorite games of all time, and Uprising, the expansion for it, made it even better. Probably not a top 10 game, but definitely a top 25 game. Pirates of Maracaibo does the thing that I'm not always looking for, but it did it well, which is take a long game, Maracaibo is in the 2 to 3 hour range, right? And bring it down to an hour. And everybody's always looking for that because they want to play faster and shorter. And this really boils it down by essentially making it a card collecting game, where you're just going over cards to collect various resources and get points. And it really actually does a great job representing Maracaibo. I still would rather play Maracaibo, but this is a good place to play and see, hey, did you enjoy that? Now let's try Maracaibo. So I actually think it does a good job, similar to how Jaws of the Lion could bring people into something bigger like Gloomhaven. So Pirates of Maracaibo, fantastic game. All right, then we got Tir na Nog. So this is a game from Grand Gamers Guild. I actually picked up this copy in Washington, D.C. at Labyrinth Labyrinth Games and Puzzles, which I have not gotten a chance to go to. I love this artwork. You are storytellers, and you are telling about the other world of Irish lore, and you're actually drafting cards to put into your story to be able to collect points. It's very much a puzzle game, but it's really neat. It's really intriguing. It's got an interesting solo mode, which I think we'll get a chance to try as well. If I can do those two, that's what I'm looking to do. They're kind of the shorter games that I have and whatnot. But the artwork is fantastic in this game, and I really think there's a great game here. Same thing. I think this went back up on Kickstarter from Grand Gamers Guild. They're actually creating a little escape room puzzle as well to go with this and whatnot. So definitely check this out if you haven't. Tir na Nog. All right, then we have Mandalorian Adventures. So this is easily described to me by the title of the company. So this is Corey Konieczka. Corey Konieczka is famous for designing Battlestar Galactica, working on Twilight Imperium, Rebellion, a lot of those games from Fantasy Flight Games that you've probably played, possibly played, I shouldn't say probably. And he has a company now called Unexpected Games, and I think that's exactly what this is. Like, you think you know what this game is, and then you play it, and it's very different. So it is a cooperative Mandalorian game with a book where you flip the book out and you get the different things and you're playing through the story. There's only 4 stories. It essentially is teaching you the game as you go. And then there's more things to open and ways to change up the game. That part is unexpected, that it changes up the ways you can play the game. But in addition, what's really neat is in this game, it's like you're playing numbers to columns. And when the columns get to a total of 5, then the enemies will trigger and get a turn. So as long as you can play low numbers, you can do small actions, and you can prevent the enemies from going. And I don't know that I've ever seen that before, so I find that very innovative in the co-op genre. Of course, it plays off of an IP, Star Wars, that I love, and Mandalorian, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you got Grogu in there, you've got all the famous characters, and you're playing through essentially Season 1. There's no spoilers with the story if you've seen the show and whatnot. If you haven't seen the show, then I don't know what the interest level would be for you there. But yeah. Really interesting there. So, Mandalorian, I've played through it all. I've unlocked everything. It's absolutely fantastic. Let's go to Fate Forge last. So let's talk about Invincible, the hero building game. Yeah, this one is great too. I don't know if people have read the comic book series from Skybound or if they have watched the TV show that was on Amazon. I only watched the first season, but it was really fantastic. But this is, again, another cooperative game. I've got a lot of co-ops. I've been playing more and more and more co-ops, and I'm definitely not against competitive and in favor of cooperative, but it's just the groups I've been playing with and what I've been able to play lately. A lot more of. So there's that. So this is interesting because it's a bag building game. So you're actually putting cubes into a bag, and you're drawing those cubes out to then kind of collect the cubes in sets to trigger actions. Oh, now I can deal damage and move. Now I can rescue civilians. Now I can do things like that. And you can work together cooperatively. You can take turns in any order. You can trigger things in any order. So you can really do a lot of discussion about what's happening. It plays through the first season of the show. So it actually has I think it's 10 different scenarios to go through the 10 different episodes. They call them episodes in here. You could play a campaign. There's a companion app that can help you learn the game, that can track things for you, can track your campaign if you want, or you can completely ignore the app. So it's up to you. If you like apps, great. If you don't like apps, you don't need it at all. So it's really interesting. My one concern with this game, the only thing that's there is that it doesn't seem like it's too difficult. And even when we increased the difficulty, we didn't have a lot of difficulty, a lot of trouble winning. So I think that might be one thing. The first scenario also of this is completely teaching you the game, and it's short and it's easy, and you can't consider that the game. arguably, if you can find somebody who's already played and you can skip that one, I think it's worth it just to keep that time frame down. But great game, really fun. The 4 different heroes, they're slightly different. You get to draft cards and get powers later in the game, so then you basically play to the deck and the hand of cards you have, but you start with a unique power in the game. So there's that. Invincible, the hero building game. And then by far the game I've been enamored with the most lately is Fate Forge. Chronicles of Khan. I'm playing through this with my wife. Mighty Boards was nice enough to set over a copy. I don't know how to show this game off. Maybe this is when they'll actually open the lid and show you inside. That is a slight spoiler. No big deal. But yeah, we've got all these different characters that you can play as. You're playing through a 3-act story. It's not super long. Like, I think if my wife and I just sat and played it, it's probably about 20 hours of playing. So it depends, right? 20 hours could be a lot or it could be a little. Obviously, if you say we're going to play a board game for 20 hours, but if we're going to play a campaign that's going to be done in 20 hours, it's pretty doable. You have all these tiles that you lay out. It's a little bit of a pain, the whole tile laying things. I would admit that that's, slightly annoying there. But then each of you gets these character tuck boxes and you're triggering actions. You're fighting through things. What's interesting is the story's fantastic. The world building is wonderful. They've created characters that, although they kind of look like some of the fantasy tropes, they're not named the fantasy tropes. So they have unique things, kind of similar to what Gloomhaven did. You also have this box, which gives you all of your cards. You've got a monster tray down inside there. There's these boss figures that you get to fight various bosses, which is really neat. Not a lot that strays. The big deal is that the story's fantastic. It's a lot of reading. Luckily, my wife enjoys reading out loud. It's completely app-driven. Which we love because everything's just kind of stored there. We don't have to worry about it. It's mostly app-driven. You do have physical components. What's interesting is when you go, it basically will show you an act, and it will say, like, you're going to fight, then you're going to rest. Then you're going to fight, then you fight, then you're going to rest, and that's the end of the act. So you can kind of, like, see the little sections of each act, like the chapters, if you will, and know how far you want to play. And the fights last a certain number of rounds. It'll say, okay, you get 3 rounds to complete this. And you can take a penalty, you can corrupt yourself to get a 4th round to try to do what you're trying to do, and things like that. Really interesting. Fantastic game. I think it's coming to retail soon. I highly recommend. At 20 hours, you can play through, then you can pick new characters, play again. The characters are very asymmetric. You get to upgrade abilities, get weapons. It's very interesting. In a single round of combat, you roll a set of dice that have symbols printed on, and you use those symbols to trigger various functions. So I'm firing an arrow, I'm attacking with my sword, I'm moving, I'm doing, something, using my intelligence to overcome the enemies or an obstacle. It's a very, simple system that works extremely well. Also, you feel very powerful. Like, you get 4 dice plus bonus actions and things you have, and you get a lot done in a turn. Like, you're like, I'm going to move here, collect the treasure chest, eliminate these 2 enemies, and then I'm going to jump to this zone over here. Like, you feel like you did a lot, so it makes you feel very heroic on that front. Check it out when it comes out. Fate Forge Chronicles of Khan. Fantastic game. All right, let's play something. What do you say? Let's play a little Leviathan Wilds, then I'll take a short break, and I'll try some Tir na Nog and see how that goes for us. Okay, you will have to watch me set up, but hopefully I've got these games roughly ready to go. I played through a few, so I'm just going to jump into the next boss that I am on. Yeah, just so I guess so you can see some of them. So we fought this turtle. And then we fought this sentinel. You turn the page this way. I just fought this storm last night. So now we are fighting the Watcher. So here is the Watcher for us. So we're going to get 2 characters in solo mode. You kind of play 2 characters simultaneously. And it's kind of got a shuffle build feel to it. This is kind of nice, actually. As I set up, I can talk through the game. So our goal is going to be to eliminate all the crystals that'll be on this creature, which I'll show you in a second. We get a certain number of rounds to do that, which is tracked up here. You've got both health and blight on your characters. They move towards each other. Health can be mended, but blight cannot. And if they ever touch, that character's eliminated. The other character gets 1 more turn to see if they can win the game. All right, here's our cards. Oops, is this all us? Yes. All right, so the Watcher will have this. The Watcher actually has a special setup where this goes here. We'll talk through some of that, and then their cards are going to get shuffled, and they're going to get placed up here in a second. How much space do I have this way? I see there's a couple people with me, so thanks for joining live. Obviously, I realize there'll be some people watching afterward. I wanted to get word about those games out there to people. That was one of my goals, so it works well. All right, so then what we're going to do here is we are going to pick 2 climbers to be. Normally in a multiplayer game, everybody would pick a single climber. Let's pick some of the simpler ones. So we'll pick Hazard. And have I played this one? I think so. How about Fix? So we're going to play these 2, Hazard and Fix. And then you're going to pick a support. What do they call this? A class that we'll have. So we can have the Herald, who can do a whole bunch of things. Let's do that. Let's be a singer. What do you say? That sounds good. Or we could be the Breaker and just deal a lot of damage. Why not? Let's deal damage. All right. I don't think I've played the Breaker yet. So then we're going to look here to see. So the Breaker doesn't have any special rules, so we're just going to set this aside. And we're going to take all these cards. So there's going to be 8 cards from there. And then we're not going to be the Magus. We're going to take the cards from these. So there's either 1 or 2 for each of these. In this case, there's 2. And these will get put in here. No setup, no setup. So you just have to look to see if they have any setup on them. These particular ones don't. And we shuffle this and put it together to make our deck. I'll adjust all this stuff in a second. Really, all you have to see is this. The other things are somewhat superfluous. All right, so that's going to be our deck for our character. I'm just going to put that back in the box. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up these crystals. So these aquamarine crystals are blight. When we damage these, we actually take damage ourselves. So we have to be careful. So we're putting them on these spaces. Probably a little tough for people to see, but there's a grid here. So there's a grid that I can walk around. And in fact, in this case, I'm like climbing up this monster. But there's spaces here that are empty that I can't go. So I have to walk on the grid. So I'm not going in between the squares. I'm actually going on the nodes of the grid, the vertices. And so we have to destroy all of these to win the game. So there's all these blight. In addition, there's 2 that are in his eyeball. So we have to take these down as well, from what I understand. But I'm going to set those there so that I can read this card. So we get that all correct. And a little story to go with it. These crystals have to be destroyed, but they don't cause blight. So they're just other ones we have to defeat to win the game. So we're going to put these out. Looks like we're actually going to use every die in the game. I really like playing live and having everything set up. So it's kind of funny for me. I feel like, oh, get to the game, get to the game. But I got a little bit of time here, so don't have to worry too much. All right, so then in addition, we're going to go in here. We've got these little spots. Some characters have special tokens, which have these nice screen printed ones. And then we have these damage rings. If the enemy deals like area of effect attack, we can use that to track. I'm going to use one of these for a first player token so we know who we are. All right, we are green and dark blue. So this is going to be Fixer, and this is going to be Hazard, and we're going to end up picking 2 places to start. I'm just going to go here and here for now, and we'll see what we want to do. All right, then finally we take these mushroom tokens, and we got to put them face down. These have random effects on them, and there's always 6 on every map. Now you can play some support characters. I was playing with Eric the other day, and the support characters were interesting because it like collected mushrooms and got extra mushrooms, and then you can throw mushrooms to people to give them bonuses. So it was like he wasn't doing as much of the damage, but we were able to kind of like work it so that he throws them to me so I can blow stuff up. Was kind of the idea. All right, and then this little card is an overlay that goes here. I think that's it. These are all the cards for the enemies. So we'll take this off the table. Maybe. All right, and then see what we have for more room. in space. So we can zoom in a little. And then we can move things slightly this way. I probably prefer to just play 2 characters, but I'm going to show you the solo mode. I think it's actually a little smoother and quicker to play. So it's nice there. All right, so essentially we have 1 deck for 2 characters. So normally there's cards that are specific to a character, but we can use them with either character. So that part's kind of fun. Then we get to that. Oh, last thing we do is get these focus tokens, which you don't always use. You have to have a focus ability. But for completeness sake of setup, we will do that. So these are flipped face down, and if we ever gain focus, we can use it to add +1 to the power of a card. All right, cool. So we're going to do that. We're going to shuffle up these enemy cards. So there's kind of 2 halves. There's a regular side and an enraged half. And as we move on, the enemy will get more enraged and do more difficult things to us. I'm going to try to use that to track which turn it is. We'll see how all that goes. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to use this Marvel Champions token. There we go. I'm used to that being a first player token a little bit more. All right, so it says setup. Place the eye overlay in the closed position aligned with the map's art. Place the blink threat card face down in the last slot. Darn it. Is this blink? Hey, this is blink. There you go. Then shuffle and deal the rest. Create a crystal pool on the other side. Flip this card over. So if the eye's open, some threat cards have more effect if the eye's open, even if the crystal pool is empty. And then strike X if on the open eye, flip it closed and reduce the crystal pool. So we can attack the eye and we'll deal damage to this pool that has 10, and we have to take that down. And we flip the eye closed so we don't take as much damage. So that's the idea. So we are climbing this Leviathan. Remember, the Leviathan is nice, but it's possessed by these crystals, so we have to feed it. All right, so we draw 3 cards, and then we go. So what we do on a turn is we start by flipping over this, and it tells us right here, reveal threat. So this one is Bloodshot, and Bloodshot's going to tell us that it's going to find the active, which is fix. It's going to put this token here, and then it basically has a grid. It's saying 2 up, and 2 to the left, and 2 to the right, and 2 below. It's going to do all of these, and then deal 2 damage there. If it misses, if it doesn't hit us at all, it's going to flip the eye open. So we have to kind of think about whether we want to get hit or not. So we're going to take 2 damage, which would be here. We might have to deal with that. We have to be a little bit carefuler. So then what we're going to do is we have a hand of 3 cards. We're going to take one of these cards, we're going to tuck it in here, and we're going to get that many action points for the turn. So if I take old Rusty here, I will get 4 action points to be able to do something, and then I can go from there. Oh, look, we do have focus. So that's kind of the idea. We have various cards that do things. So on the board, you're going to see these mushroom tokens. If we go over them, we collect them. You're going to see the crystals, which need to be destroyed, and then you're going to see yellow and red spaces. Red spaces are hazards. They deal damage, and yellow spaces are difficult terrain. So when you step into a yellow space, you have to discard a card off of your deck. And if you ever have no cards in your deck, which is called your grip, you fall. So you physically drop until you hit a ledge. So that's where you have to be careful. You don't want to run out of cards. Now, sometimes you'll play action point cards that have those symbols, which means for that turn, you ignore those things. This one actually makes us focused if we deal the damage. So that's kind of interesting to think about going 1, 2. Oh, that's actually perfect. Look at it. So we're going to tuck this Rise card in. Now, we're not going to do the effect on the bottom. We're going to get 3 action points. We're going to go 1, 2 to here. Now, normally that says, oh, that's a difficult terrain, so we have to discard a card. But because we played this yellow, we don't have to worry about it. And then we are going to play Headbutt. This strikes for 1, so we're going to deal 1 damage. If it breaks the crystal, we become focused. But right here, Fix It is hit it harder. Apply +1 to your strike only once per turn. So I'm going to strike 1, 2. I'm going to break this crystal. Now that I broke the crystal, I become focused. Just want to put these somewhere where I won't forget them. I usually put them back in the box. All right, so we only spent 2 of our points. So yeah, we can play cards for free. Sorry, I meant to mention that. Cards are free, but we don't want to go through our deck too fast. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out. Do we want to move? So the thing is, we could move here, and then the eye would open, or we could take the damage. I actually think in this case I'll take the damage this early. So once we activate our climber, now we resolve the threat. So this is going to go off. He's going to hit here, which is going to hit me. I take 2 damage. That can be mended, and we don't flip the eye open. And then finally I draw to 3. So I can choose to discard this card. I do discard this card. And then I draw back up to 3. Now I have more cards. And then we go. At the end of the round, when we get through all these cards, we'll talk through what happens there. All right, so this threat is all characters, climbers, I should say, lose a health. If the eye's open, it's a blight instead. So that's why we wanted to get hit. We don't want to take blight because we can't heal it. At least the damage we could try to heal, or you can try to block it, although I don't know how much block I have in here. Okay, jump 2 to a crystal. So I could play this and jump. So the way jump works is it basically ignores the spaces in between. So if I jump 2, I could skip this space, which is an open space. Might be hard for people to see, but there's an open one there, and then there's a node here. So I could actually jump 2 to get to that one. And this got a little bit into my face. Sorry about that. Oh, we didn't read the story. All right, it's actually Hazard talking. He says, scrawling this recon thing real quick, because we're about to get into a scrap. We came down the valley and bam, we all got hit with a nasty feeling, kind of like something big noticed us. Sure enough, a minute later we spot this eyeball monster tearing down the hillside toward us. Gotta go, don't want to miss the fight. All right, so Hazard's thing is he can spend a card to block one. So instead of taking damage, he could discard a card. I should say. I do not know the genders of these characters. Okay. So we could come here if we had the 3. Go 1. We're so close. Yeah, and if we had that focus. So we could play this one, then we can move 1, 2. We can jump here. Oh, actually, that'll work, right? Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're going to play Back in My Day. So this one is going to make us immune to everything. And in fact, this blue tells us that we don't take blight from destroying blight crystals or hitting blight crystals. It's not even destroying. So we've got 3 actions. We're immune to basically everything. 1, 2. Then we're going to play Advance, jump 2 to a crystal. Now, jumping always has to be orthogonal. So we're going to go 1, 2, jump to this crystal here, which has a difficult terrain, but we ignore it. And then 3, we're going to strike, but we're going to use Old Rusty, who has Secure. If we ever discard Old Rusty, we get to put it in our hand immediately. So that's going to deal 3 damage, and we're immune to taking Blight, so that is 1 crystal down. You might say, boy, you're destroying crystals fast. You have to. There's a lot of crystals. There's a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time. All right, so no other cards. We're all going to take one. I'm going to have Hazard shake it off. Well, you know what? I'm going to take this 1. I don't think I want to lose cards right now. Fix is also going to have to take 1. Look, I already forgot to move this thing. I know it well. And then I draw back up. And that's the game. You keep going until you can get there. Nope, I just have to tell you about the end of the round. All right, oh goodness. Closest to the eye. So whoever's closest to the eye, which is going to be here by rows. So that's going to go there. So everybody in this row is going to take 2 damage. In this and the adjacent 2 rows are also going to take 2 damage. If somebody's in the middle row, what is that saying? What is that saying? Sorry. I am not sure. I have not seen that before. Let's see if it explains it in here. It's got a red if the eye is open. Who did we say this was? This is the Watcher. Okay, what is that red arrow telling us? Oops. Yeah, there's cool scenario tokens and things. I know that the red arrow means the whole row. What would it be telling me with the eye open? This is my least favorite part of playing games live. That's why I usually enjoy playing one that I've already played before, but it was exciting to see something new. Okay, that's interesting that I don't even see the red arrow. Some cards cause you to suffer different effects depending which highlighted space you're in. Some attacks also affect all spaces above, below, to the left, and to the right of the spaces shown by the arrows. It is true. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what that's saying. There is a red arrow. If the eye is open, is it just all columns? Apologies, I do not know what that means. So I'm just going to have to play it as is, and the eye's not open, so we'll have to worry about it. Cross that bridge when we come to it. All right. For sake of the stream, we'll keep going and get a rule wrong if we have to. All right, so this focus token lets me add +1 to something if I want to. Now, I wish I had some kind of jump to go from here to here. I can technically just jump for 3. I didn't mention that. The things you can do for points, sorry, jumped in, is you can climb a space, up, down, left, right for 1. You can jump for 3, so you can actually skip a spot, which might be what I do here. You can also glide. So gliding is basically falling with style. So you can go from a space, and then you can pick how many spaces you want to go down and diagonal. Kind of like using gravity to get you over there. A little bit beyond physics, but we'll go with it, right? You'd almost have like a parabolic arc. And then you can strike. You can also rest if you're on a ledge. So ledge are these whites. All the bottom is a ledge, and then all these here are ledges. And you can mend one no matter where you are, which is something I probably need to do as well. Ooh, look at this, though. Shatter. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to get there. I need to be somewhere else. All right, so let's use this 4. And let's go, oh man. We could go up here to get out of this thing. Woo, it's puzzly. Okay, let's just go here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to jump over to here. We're going to collect this, which is an anchor. So if I ever decide I just want to drop, normally you have to fall till you get to a ledge, but if I fall, I can anchor and grab a spot again. Really, really neat effect there. All right, so that is set. I did not strike. Am I going to play any of these? I can't because I'm not in the same space. That's all I've got. So we're all taking 2 damage. Boy, is that what that's saying? Oh, I now understand. It is saying hit just the adjacent spaces. If the eye's open, do the arrows instead. I see it. I was like, I know if I look at that long enough. So this is only hitting here and the surrounding spaces. So this one's going to take 2 damage. We're going to block 1. And just take the other damage. Okay. Whew. I now see that. I now see it. All right. And then if the eye was open, it would go the other way. Perfect. Okay. This card gets discarded, and we draw back up. All right. So we're down to 2 cards here. So we're going to need to try to rest. So maybe that's our goal here if we have a 5. So we do have this 5. We could get to this ledge. Probably the simplest way to do it. So let's not overthink it. So we're going to go here. We're going to move this down. All right, so that's going to be 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, And then it costs 2 on a ledge to rest. 4, 5. So when we rest, some characters get bonuses. Otherwise, you return your whole discard pile shuffled face down. Now, the exception is in solo. In solo, you only get 7 cards from your discard pile back. So we have a 10-card deck. We have an 11-card deck. 8 plus 2. We have a 12-card deck. Yeah, 12-card deck. We only get 7 cards back. There's only 7 in our discard pile, so we're going to shuffle those up, reset them, because otherwise, if we have no grip, both of our climbers fall. We don't want to fall, because we're trying to climb. All right. Oh, I did not flip the threat, though, did I? My bad. Oh, man, that card was driving me nuts. I hate getting things wrong. Like, it's got to be so obvious. The next player has to take a damage or discard a card. All right, so that's done. So this character has to take a damage or discard a card. So we'll just play this card to block the damage. All right, and we're going to discard here. This is going to go to Fixer. He's a bit of a fixer-upper. And we'll flip the next threat card. Probably good to show the turtle because it was a lot more straightforward than this. All right, this is Blink. So +1 Blight. So I'm going to gain Blight. I'm going to get pushed down 1. And the eye is going to flip open. My goodness. Okay. So let's see what we want to do here. We used that one that was going to heal us. Any climber may strike 2. So we can use this, which we can turn into a strike 3. Strike 1 and gain 1. Not moved after a crystal breaks, climb 2. Oh, that's not bad. All right, cool. So we're going to do Drill Fist. We're going to get 4. We're going to go 1, 2. We're going to ignore the difficult terrain. Then we're going to play this to strike 2, which is going to be made strike 3. So we're going to break this crystal. So we spent 2. Then after a crystal breaks, climb 2. So we spent 2 so far. And we have 2 left. So we could get to the ledge. I think we'll go 1, 2. We'll get to this ledge. Oh, there's a ledge right there, though. So we're just going to mend 2. We're going to get 2 of our health back. That's done. We're going to take a Blight, so that can never be healed. You add Blight, and then we flip the eye open. So this is going to go this way. And now we have to try to find a way to hit that eye. Where do you think you're allowed to hit the eye? Probably these 2 specific spaces, huh? If on the open eye, flip it closed. Reduce. Yeah, I guess it's pretty obvious that these are not part of the eye. Okay, cool. So we've got the eyeball open. The eye is upon us. All right, this goes here. We draw 3. We draw 4 by mistake. And now it's the end of the round. So the end of the round, it tells us right here, shuffle and deal new threat row. So we will deal these back out. Blink can be anywhere now. Move this forward, and then we enrage. So this round, it says enrage 1 card. So 1 card, the first card, becomes harder for us to deal with. So that's going to be our first card of our new one, and we start here with Hazard. All right, so it says the next player has to take 2 damage or discard your highest AP card. If the eye's open, we have to resolve it twice. My goodness. Okay. Whew. I don't see a world in which I get up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This lets me jump 1. I could get there. I don't have a 5. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be rough, huh? Well, these cards aren't super high, so we'll see how that goes. We do have this here. All right, so I guess we should keep things simple. Play this card. 1, 2, ignore the difficult terrain. 3, strike this. We don't take any blight. And then we'll play this one, strike 1, and become focused. Cool. All right, so now the next player has to take 2 damage or discard their highest AP card, and we do it twice. Well, that's 3. Yikes, that was rough. All right, we got to close that eye. So now this is going to go here, and it's going to hit these rows because the eye's open. Ugh, it was so obvious. All right, 1, 2, 3. We're 1 short. Jump 2 to a crystal. Cannot do that, huh? I wanted to have a 5 so I could get on this ledge and then rest. I also could just have him drop to the ledge, so we might be okay. So what we are going to do is figure this out. Okay. Are these here? Is that the idea? I don't think so. More stuff. We're back to fixer, right? Oh, it's fix, not fixer. Oh, sorry, everybody. So I could play this one, and then jump 3, and then jump to a crystal. Oh, hold on. Look at that. Okay, let's show this off then. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what we can do. So we're gonna get 3 action points. We're gonna spend jump 2 to a crystal, but we're gonna focus it to make it jump 3. So now we can go 1, 2, 3. We can jump to this crystal. We haven't spent any action points yet. So we'll spend 1 action point to deal a damage, but we ignore blight. 2, 3. We'll destroy this one. And then we'll spend our 2nd action point to go here. And we'll mend 1. All right. So that's going to be a little tricky. Ooh, I like this turn, actually. All right. Then he's going to deal damage. Oh, I picked this up because it's going to be these spots. So we're good. Nothing happens. Oh, there's a lot of people here. Hello, everybody. I hope probably people are not chatting, but if you are, hello. I was not looking up. Okay. We're playing Leviathan Wilds. If you're wondering, if you're joining later, I went through a series of games that I think are fantastic from 2024. Not necessarily that you would get them all, but try some of them. So we're playing Leviathan Wilds right now. The idea is to climb up these Leviathans, remove these poisonous crystals from them, so we restore them to being helpful giants and not hurtful giants. And we are these climbers. In solo, you play a pair. I probably would just play 2 characters, honestly. But it is neat to get different powers and mix them together, which you don't get to do in multiplayer. So you get these 2 characters' powers in the same deck. So at least you do get a little bit of a different feel, which is exciting. All right, so we just ended up on this ledge. This is going to happen. The spot was here. So it's going to hit these 3 rows, which we are not in. So we are safe. Then we will discard here, and we will draw. Now we can only draw 1 card. And we have no grip left. So now that we have no grip, we fall. But you only fall to a ledge. So I'm already on a ledge, and this character will go, ah, and fall right to this ledge. So we kind of did that cleverly so that we could get there. And go. All right, so now it is the next turn. So if you ever have 0 cards in hand, because you don't get your cards back, you have to rest to get your cards back. So if you ever have 0 cards in hand, you just get 2 AP, which is basically enough to get cards back. All right, he's going to go here with a bloodshot and deal 2 damage to everything everywhere. All right, so we can use this to jump. So we'll tuck this card. We get 5 action points. 1, 2. So we will recover. We'll get 7 cards back. It's at random. Normally it's all, but in solo it's 7. So we still got a heap of cards there. So that's 2. And then where do we have to be? Far away? If I just go 3, 4, 5. I'm still in the blast. I am. So I'll take the 2 damage. Oh, I can block, right? 3, 4, 5. So I take a damage here. And I grab this one, which is draw a card. And I have that. Now, they can throw these mushrooms to each other if they're 3 spaces away from each other. And then this is going to go off. It's going to deal us 2 damage, 1, discard a card. This flips, or this comes down, and we draw 3. So we rested, but we don't have much left. So we could possibly rest again. This goes back here. I'm never going to remember to move this thing. So I almost have to remember who started the round. It might be easier. So sorry to people watching if you're trying to track which character it is. All right, everybody's going to take a damage, but a blight unless I can hit him in the eye. All right, so this one would let me go here. 1, 2, 3. And I could close the eye. And I could actually play this one. Okay, let's try it. So what we are going to do is play Rise. So this allows us to jump up here. So basically, let's go. So the center where it has the spiral is not a space. So they actually just elongated this box. So I'm going to jump diagonally to the corner. Now I still have 4 action points. So I can go 1, 2, 3. I take a damage. And then what am I using this card for? 4, I will hit his eye for 2, so bring that down to 8 and flip it closed. Yeah, I think that works, and I don't take a blight from that. So now the end of the round goes. We each take a damage. Whew, we are getting damaged here. Discard this. I think I say round, but I really mean turn. And now we have to decide to rest again. My goodness. Okay. So I actually has to be open for me to do that. So ledges are not nearby. Any climber may strike 1, gain 1, and anchor. After crystal breaks, climb 2. None of this stuff is good. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get to there, which isn't bad. But we discard on the way. Nope, can't do that. Could also be over this. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll jump up there, I guess. Start working on these crystals over here. We did not flip the card. I am going to try to just do this per round. I'm never going to remember. All right, the active one is going to get +1 blight and push. Ooh, I think I forgot my push on my last card. I think I flipped the eye open and forgot to push. Oh, well. Only so much I can do. So, whew. We are going to take 1 blight, get pushed to here. What actually happens in that case? Do you start falling or do you just get pushed to the next spot down? That's going to be important. You enter an open space. You start falling. Yeah. So we don't want to do that. Okay. Reset turn. So we need to end up somewhere where that won't happen. If we play the 5, we lose the card. So that makes the most sense. We come over here. So I guess we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when we get pushed, we end up here. And we take the 1 blight. Whew. It's getting rough. Okay. He's then going to throw him this. We're going to draw this card, and we drop, and this one's going to play an anchor as soon as it starts falling, so it can stay in there. So that gives us an anchor to play off of that. All right, that finishes that round, so we'll shuffle these cards up and keep going. Ooh, what's in the second edition, Adam? Is it just upgrading characters, or did they make more Leviathans? So that's what it was. It was the second edition. Yeah, this game's really fun. I agree. It's fantastic, like the video says. All right, here we go. We'll flip this one. This is Baleful Stare. Baleful? Baleful Stare. Lose a grip, gain an injury card, take a damage. Oh, I forgot the injury cards. They're still in the box. I'll have to get those. And if the eye is open, +1 instead. Oh, the eye didn't flip open because when we got to the card, or did... Hold on. Didn't I just play the card that said flip the eye open? Ooh, I'm having trouble here. Flip the eye open, yeah. All right, we're going to reset these cards because I had to read them. This game is Leviathan Wilds. It's a cooperative game about climbing Leviathans to try to restore them back to good because these crystals have poisoned them. So we are these climbers playing cards to try to break up the crystals. In this case, we have to hit them in the eye. But we are dying fast. This is not going to be a great showing. All right. Oh, I got the same card. So the active player is going to have to lose a grip, gain an injury, take a damage, and if the eye's open, take a blight. That's fun. All right, so this goes back up to Fixer. He's going to be the start of the round. Then I know he's the first, third, and fifth. I'll just switch it then. Okay, nothing to avoid taking that damage. So we'll play this victory dance for 4. We're going to climb 1. When we take the damage, the other character will take the damage instead. Oh, we can't do this. Hold on. We have to recover. All right, so we'll spend 2 to rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we get 7 cards back. It does come with... No, I'm just using that. It doesn't have a first player token because normally you just track whose turn it is next, which is kind of interesting. So I was trying to flip back and forth, but I discovered just tracking the start of the round was easier. Normally you just have your character and you go around the table, so it's not a big deal to track whose turn it is when. But in solo you play 2 characters, so you have to pay attention. 7 more Leviathans, 1 new climber, and 1 new class. I mean, that's definitely a lot to add to it. But the errata is interesting. It's always like, wait a second. Okay. It is designed from people who worked at Fantasy Flight Games and Asmodee, so there is that connection to Marvel Champions. All right, so Fixer, I spent 2, then 3. Oh, no. Keeping this here. I won't take that damage because I'll play the Relic Shield, which puts the damage on him and blocks it. And then I will attack for 1, which becomes 2. Take a blight. And flip the eye closed. Okay. Then I will lose a card, gain an injury, and everybody will take a damage. 1 and 1. Well, we are almost dead. All right, injury cards. Almost forgot. So there's a deck of cards here. Injuries are generally temporary. Shuffle, and we draw, and he's going to be distracted. He cannot become focused. Remove this injury if any other climber within range 4 of you discards a skill card without resolving its effect. All right, this gets discarded. We draw 2. And then we flip here. Swift. Closest to the eye. Oh, what does swift mean? Does that mean it happens first? I'm discovering new things because the Leviathans add abilities as they go. So I'm guessing that swift immediately. Yep. Place an attack marker as a reminder that it's been resolved. Okay, so this is going to go it's going to go here. It's going to hit this character for 1 and 1 and the adjacent character. I think I'm dead. Yeah. So it's going to deal a damage that I can block, and then a blight that will defeat my character. Oh. And then here it's going to deal a damage that I cannot block. Oh. And I'm dead. But that gives you an idea of the game. Gosh, there was a lot of these places to crawl to. I do think the more players you add, the easier the game's going to be because you can go in different directions. It does try to make it more difficult in that if you are adjacent to each other, you take more damage. So that's what it's trying to do with players. But I do think it's a little trickier the fewer characters you have, which is probably why they give you 2 for solo to do that and to be able to avoid some of the things because it does a lot of that next and things like that. But that gives you a good idea of the game. I agree. It's very, very fun. Each time you flip a book, you can see there's more rules. So I'm reading rules, which is annoying for a stream, but it's great for like adding things to the game. So it's not really teaching you as you go. I think the Turtle gives you like a full experience. It's just an easier experience. You don't have to focus on as many crazy things as you did for the other. So that is Leviathan Wilds. If anybody has questions, you can ask me in the chat. If you're watching afterward, you can just post in the comments below, and I can try to answer those questions for you. There is a campaign. I didn't link to it. There's nothing here that is related to that, but just so you know, that is going on. I'm going to clean this up. I guess I'll chat a little bit while I do that. I'm going to take a quick stretch break, and we'll play some Tir na Nog, and then see where we go from there. Very, very puzzly game, Tir na Nog. You'll see that one in a second. Not too bad to put this game away either. We had an injury card. Where did I put my injury card? Here. We just grabbed the box. Honestly, usually the box is next to me, and as I'm playing, I'm cleaning up as things get cleared. But yeah, it's really neat. This is kind of a puzzle game too, but you get a lot of clever moves. I didn't show off a lot of them there. But there's times where you realize, I feel like the clever one was when I realized, with my focus token, I could add +1 to my jump. But I like those games where it's like, if you think for a second, you realize, oh, wait, this is a good idea. And then you get to do those abilities. Well, I'm going to do the classic thing and put this away and clean it up later, organize it later, which drives some people nuts. But yeah, really neat. And I was excited. I was excited to get a chance to play this and to just see some more games because, like I was saying at the start, 2024, it just started a little slow. Like I don't want to take anything away. I gotta leave the Watcher on top because I did not defeat him. From some of the design that have happened that have definitely been interesting, but I hadn't, there's been nothing that was like, oh man, this is amazing. This is what's making 2024 so good. Or I guess I look for a breadth of games. Like there were good games, but I'm looking for a bunch. Slay the Spire is absolutely fantastic, but I have not acquired a copy yet. I played someone else's copy and gave it back to them after playing it like 17 times. So I can't wait to get that. Maybe I'll do a run on here. Although it's not really solo, is not really where it's fun and where it's at. Where are those other boards? All right. That is set. All right, give me a 2-minute stretch. I will be back, and we will play Tir na Nog. All right, we are back. We're going to play Tier to Nog, and I actually managed to get it set up in that time. So really neat game from Grand Gamers Guild as well. Fantastic game. I got to keep using the title, right, of the video. So it's got a solo mode in here, so we'll play the solo mode, which, you know, it makes the other opponent work different than normal, but otherwise it feels like the regular game. All right, let's see what I got set up here. So here is Tier to Nog set up. I'll actually put the deck up here, I think. I can slide some of these down. It's going to get a little confusing when I'm going to need a tableau here, which I think can slide a little more to the left, and maybe we use these tokens. I should just put the draw pile up here. All right, here we go. So in a two-player game, you're going to set out a grid like this. You're going to have different size grids. I'm going to start with 5 cards in my hand. And essentially, I'm creating my saga over here. I'm doing my storytelling here. So there's 2 phases to the game. There's the journey phase, where we're going to place our storytellers out. I'll put them this way for the sake of the camera. And they're going to be between 2 cards. And I'm saying I want to draft one of these 2 cards. Okay? And they will do the same. This character starts with a B. It is Baylor. So Baylor will put theirs out as well, according to this right here. Ooh, it got weirdly faded. Sorry about that, everybody. I fixed it. I should put the deck here. So they're going to put theirs out, and then we're going to draft these cards. And every time we draft one, we play one into our saga. So we're going to end up with a 3x5 grid here. Top row, middle row, bottom row, and then 5 cards. You have to go left to right in each one, but you can play into each one at any time. And then these tell you how they're going to score. So we're trying to do various scoring things to get those there. So that's kind of the idea behind the game. Baylor will discard a card off top of the deck, and then the cards that Baylor drafts, they will use to score at the end for this card. So this is going to tell us that you're then going to look at your rows and columns for connected cards of each color. There's 4 different colors, and the largest grouping gets 8 points. The second largest gets 3. And then you have these 3 cards. So my top card here is telling me in my top row, I'm going to score points for every card that is not a duplicate in that row. So I want to have all 5 cards be individual so they all score. Or in its column. So these 7s are here. This one is telling me that every card that is lower than the card to its left, strictly lower, will score points equal to its value. And so kind of similar here. And then this one's telling me I just want to have a set. I want to have as many of the same numbers. If I get all the same number down here, I'll score 20 points. And then it tells us Baylor scores 15, 20, and 22. So 42, 57, plus whatever points they get from this. That's what we're trying to beat for our target number. So that's how that's going to work. Thank you. My t-shirt matches with Rocket. It's true. All right. Some cards also have special abilities on them, so we'll go through a little bit of that as we play. I forget if I am always first or if they are always first. Baylor always goes first. Okay, that's what it is. All right, so we're going to discard a card, and we're looking for this little I'm token. There's a pronunciation guide here. Oh, do they give me that word? Nope. Baylor. So they give me that. There's a whole bunch here. Tier to Nog. Said that right. All right, so we're going to discard this card, which does not have the thing, so this stays this way. So it's telling me during the journey phase, place this token between 2 cards that have the highest sum. So there's an 8 and a 6 here, but this gets blocked. This space we block. Is it on the first card, or is it between those 2? No, it's between those 2. Okay, I did that correct. So right here is 8 plus 16 is 14. That's where Baylor's going to place theirs. So now I get to place one. So I'm definitely looking for some of those 8s. So I probably want to go here because 8s are going to be good here. They're going to be good here, everywhere I can go. And I have a 7, 6, 5. Then I'm going to have to figure out what number I want to repeat down here. I put that out earlier. Oh, these don't need to be specifically with top, middle, and bottom. That's just where I put them because it looked nice. It could just be a set of them. All right, flip again. No symbol, so still highest. So 8 plus 4 is 12. I don't see a different spot, so nice and easy. Don't really have to think to do their turn. All right, so now I have to figure out what do I want in addition. They're getting all those 8s, so do I want to take a bunch of 3s? Do I want to take numbers of the same type? I'm probably not going to score super well. And I don't like when people say it, but for sake of not overthinking the game, although I should overthink the first round. So let me overthink the first round, kind of Rado style. All right. Add one for each card to its left. So if I play this later, that's an interesting last card to get. All right, so let's go there, and maybe we can hold off on that one. Flip. So there's that plus. So now this is going to flip, and he's going to do lowest. They're going to do lowest. So 3 plus 3 is 6, so they're going to go here. And then finally, I've got this one. So the only one that we're kind of fighting over here is this one. So I'll put this here and see what we get. All right, so now that's the journey phase. So now we go to the saga phase. It's very similar. We are going to flip. There's no symbol, so they're going to take the lowest card that they are adjacent to. There are 2 3s, so in that case, we just go this way around and take the first card. So that's going to be the first card. That is Baylor's. We're going to put it there in their discard pile. Actually, slide these up just a little bit. Cool. So now we get to draft a card. So we are not fighting over this card. We are over this one. So if we want this 4, so we'll take this one. The Selkie Tower. And the art is just absolutely gorgeous. I should show that off so that you can see this art that I adore greatly. On this stream, I would call it fantastic. Cool. All right, so now what I have to do is play a card into my tableau. Every card to its left. So I want something that's not going to appear again. My 8 is going to be that. Change the color of this to the color of a card next to it when I score. So that one can change color. All right, let me try to go for 4s at this point. So I'm going to put this 4 here. No, I'm going to put the red 4 here. Okay, flip. No symbol. Take the lowest. So there's a 3. Oh, no, this. So this should have gotten picked up. And same with mine. Mine should have gotten picked up. Oh, so I couldn't get that other 4. That's okay. My bad. So this one's going to go here for them. All right, back to me. I can take the 8 or the 5. So I'll just take the 8. What did I just do? Theirs would have been gone. This card was gone. So they needed to take this 6. And I'm taking my 8. Ooh, boy, I screwed that up. I made that confusing. I just forgot to pick up theirs. There are also rules so that if yours is stranded, you have a lost storyteller, you're allowed to wait till the end, but then take any card. All right, so then I have another 4 that I will play here. Or actually, I have an 8. I have an 8 that just needs to go here. So I know I want that 8 highest card, so then I can play down the line. Perfect. They're going to flip. It doesn't really matter if there's changes because they're taking this 8 no matter what, putting it in their pile, bringing this back. So I show that correctly. And then I'm going to get this, and then I'm very simply going to play my 7 here. All right, these 2 cards get discarded. And at the end of the round, I have to discard one of these. So is there something here that I don't want? Well, I want 4s because I'm collecting those. I'm probably going to play... Oh, I don't really want to add 1 to the value of this in this column. So I may want this at the end of this column because it'll score a lot more. So one of these 6s, change the color of this to the color of the card next to it. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll get rid of this blue 6 because I don't know that we'll use that. All right, so we have to discard 1 down. Now we only have 4 cards going into that round. Next round, we deal more cards and we keep going. And we'll play 5 rounds of this. There'll be 15 cards. I'll have to figure out once my tableau gets bigger, I can slide a little bit this way. Or I may have to slide some of these things this way to give us a little more space. All right, they're going to go first. They're going to flip. No symbol, so they're going to play lowest. There's 5 here, which looks like it's the lowest. Then I get to choose a spot. So I want nothing of the same numbers. Putting a 6 here. Are there any 4s? So I probably want to try to claim the 4. They already got that one. So we'll go here. 8s are never bad to have, so we'll take that. Looks good. All right, they're going to flip. No symbol, so they're going to go lowest. 3 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 3 plus 4. Right here. Then it's going to be me. So I'm going to pick a spot. 4s were good. Red. So this is going to change to yellow. Then I don't want to play this yellow. I could play this one after there, but I'm trying to save 4s. What do I need? I just need cards that don't appear in the same column. So let's get a 7. Put that there. They're going to flip. Nothing. Wow. So they still play lowest. 10 here, 9 here. So they're going to go here. And then finally, I will pick and maybe contest them over this one. All right. They go first. They flip. And these cards are going to score at the end of the game for them. So that's what these are here for. They're basically just going to take the number of colors and compare to my different zones, but I get to discard them. On easy mode, I get to discard 3. Since I lost the last game, I'm going to play easy mode and get rid of 3 of their cards. Make it a little easier for me. All right, they do not do this, so they're going to take the lowest card that they are adjacent to, which is here, and then they're going to use the token that's closest going around. Try to show that off a little bit better than I did last time in my haste. All right, we're competing over this 4, and I definitely need 4, so I'm going to take this one here. Flip. No symbols still. There's also symbols on the cards here, which are going to be for the expansions that you can get for the game. All right, so lowest is going to be this 3, and they take this one back. Then it is me. Oh, I didn't play a card after that, did I? So really simple. I'll play this 6, which becomes a yellow 6. So that's what that little token does, changes the card color. All right, what do I want to take here? I want this 7. That's going to guarantee me that 7. So actually, I think I want this 7, and I'm going to play it here. So the cards don't repeat there. Got that done. All right, and then they are going to flip and not change theirs and take this one. Now, either way, they were taking that card, but if this flips, it changes this card, so their priority is on highest and not lowest anymore. We have a lot of 5s, but the 5 could be good to put here. I think I'll still take this. Oh, no, I don't need this 7, do I? Actually, the 5 might be pretty good. So we'll take that 5. These 2 get discarded. We get ours back. We need to play a card. I can move them to the end of any row. We'll just play this 5 here. Yeah, we're pretty good shape here. 8, 7, 6, 5. So now we can choose to play a 4, but we need 4s down here, so we might play something different to be able to do that. And then we're setting up this card to go here. Maybe a little tricky. All right. That finishes that round. We have to discard a card. So actually, I think this 5 is the least useful thing. That's going to be hard to hold on to. That's going to be what's tricky. All right, next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one's called Tir na Nog. So here you go. Here's the box. It's Grand Gamers Guild. You can check that out. Actually running a contest for this until next Tuesday on our podcast. I guess I should tell you, even though this is not the podcast, my podcast is sponsored by Grand Gamers Guild. So you can take that with whatever you need to. But if you listen to Right Brain Rollers, there are rules on the episode. I think it's 2 episodes ago with how you can enter to win a copy of the full Kickstarter version of the game that's up there now. I'm just playing the game because I like the game on this channel. So, but just so you know, there is that opportunity, which might be good. Or if you just want to listen to our podcast, it'd be great too. All right, cool. Lowest. So we're going to flip. No symbol. Still going lowest. This should be here. That is a 0 and a 1. So right there. Then it's me. I need 4s. There are no 4s. So what do I need? Maybe just this 2. I don't have an 8 that's here, but I could also place a yellow card here to get that area bigger. So this could be a good spot since I talked about both those cards. Flip, nothing. Lowest is 10, 12, 13, 15, 9. Right here. Ooh, yeah, it's a little tricky what I want now because I don't want 5s. Although another 5 here is fine. So we can take this one. We don't need that 7, so I guess I'll go next to this 8. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do well with color matching. But we'll see what we can do. All right, finally, lowest. Wow, that's amazing that it stayed that long. So 10 is here, and then I need to... This is a lot of 7s and 5s. Wow. I'm going to go here and see if I can get that lost. All right, so now we go to the saga phase. Oh, no problem, Scott. Flip, still lowest card, so lowest is this 0. Take this one back. Do I want the 2 or the 1? I could put the 1 here, which is nice, not for scoring. It stinks for scoring, but it's good for getting that yellow area. Although, does he have any yellow cards? Whatever, let's just do it. All right, so we'll take this one, and we'll play it here. I don't have to play the one I take. I could play a different card, so I have the option, but I'm trying to build this out so I can get this 5 down sooner. Because I just kind of have the 4s in hand. That still does not flip, so the lowest is this 2. Goes in the pile. So I guess the 8 makes sense to take. We will take the 8 with this one and place it here. This is one of those things where you're totally going to embarrass yourself on camera because it's like, oh, right, of course, I can't put that number there because same column, and I try to track it all. No 4s up here. All right, we'll flip this. I always just try to remember I'm showing off the game. That's the real key thing. So they're not doing anything with those specifically. And then I take this 7. Oh, 7 can't go here, right? So this 5 is probably fine to go here now. Yeah. Oh. I didn't think about is, can a card be higher? I assumed it could be higher than its number, but maybe it cannot. Hi, kitties. They're like all around my feet. So funny. Huh. Okay, that's a 9. So this becomes... Oh no, it's going to be an 8, isn't it? See, that's where I embarrass myself. Shoot, so do I give up on 4s down here? What was my other option? I had the option to take this 5 earlier. Instead of this, if I just switch this, right, then I don't get this 7. Is that what I had? And I get this 5, and this 5 cannot score if it goes there. So I just take the 5 first and then the 8, right? But this is, no, this is a 6. Okay, I think we're okay. I may have cheated there. In missing all that. That may have been incorrect. I apologize. I think I had 5, 8, 7 lined up here, and I don't think they could take any of them. I wonder if they could have taken the 5 before me. And I think getting that there is okay. We're gonna run with it. See where it goes. All right, 2 rounds to go. Hey, Tiny Catalyst. This is Tiernanog. Earlier, I played Leviathan's Wild, and I also at the beginning of the video talked about 7 games that I think are fantastic from 2024, which I think started a little slow. I wasn't finding a lot of games. Slay the Spire and Bardwood Grove are way up there for me. I don't have a copy of Slay the Spire. I feel like I'll show it off, but it also feels weird to show it off solo. So I almost would have to get somebody else to play, because solo you should just play the app. Like I can't blame that, but you guys know me, you know I like to play with people, so prefer that. All right, there is a 4 here that I'm gonna need to get. There are a couple 4s. Whew. I hope I did that correct. I'm just gonna move on. All right, flip. This is gonna change to highest priority. So it is 9 right here. There's a 9 here and a 9 here, so it'll be this one. Ooh, I need that 4. So let me play there so I can try to get dibs on that 4. Okay, flip. Highest is going to be 7 here. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining in. There's lots of people watching this morning. Okay. Yeah, and if you have any questions, please, I will try to make sure I answer them, even though I'm looking down. I will look up. Oh, no, I have to play next, not them. So I need this 4 as well. Good. And then do that. And they're going to play highest, which is going to be here. And then what do I need? I just need a card to go here, which could be a 3 or a 2. It could be red. Oh, look at my colors are bad. I got yellow there. Yeah, it's going to be a little rough, huh? So I guess a green would be good. So I'll go here and try to take this 2. Oh no, I'm putting this card there. So the 2 would have to go here. So I'd rather it were red. Okay, we'll come over here. All right, now we go to the Saga phase. They're going to still take the highest card. So it's 5s. It'll be this one. They'll take that 5 into their pile. Look at all those reds that they have. So I should really be going for green and yellow and not worrying about red or blue. All right. Then I get to pick. We are contesting this 4, and I definitively wanted this 4. So we will take that, and we're going to put this one here, and now that becomes a 9. And there are 9s, and all my questions are answered. Okay, this is now lost. What do they do in that case? I actually don't know the answer to that. Yeah, because they were here, right? So they're going to still select the highest, which will be this one. They'll take this 5. What do they do if they're lost? I guess I'm going to assume that they would go last, so they would have to wait till the end. All right, so I will get my cards. So I know I want another 4. And green is a color that I want to compete with. So we'll put this yellow down here to shore that up. And then we'll come over here. Change far daring to the value of the card to its left. Oh, that's really helpful. That gets me another 4, right? Perfect. So we'll play this one. Oh, I have too many 4s now. I guess that's a good thing a good spot to be in. Are we going for blue? Maybe. So we'll put this one here. So this one actually lets me swap 2 cards. So I'm going to not use that ability in case I needed to swap these 2 to get where I was. And that kind of makes me feel like, whew, okay, I'm clear. Now they're going to select their card from what's remaining. They're going to take the highest card starting here. All right, final round. Oh no, I didn't discard last round. I didn't discard. My bad. Okay. I think I was... Which one was I holding? Blue? I think I was holding blue, so that one's gone. So now I have to discard here. I'll just get rid of this one. Sorry. And final round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I may get a giant asterisk for this game, but hey, I showed it off. That's what's key to me. All right, first flip is a plus, so they will go lowest. Lowest is going to be 6, 2 right here. What do I need? This is going to go here. Now I don't have all those 4s that I needed. I need this 4 then, right? And then I just need a card. Yeah, all right, flip. They will go lowest is 6 right here. That's 7. I'm going to go there to try to get this 3 for here, I think. They will go lowest, which is 6 right here. And what do I want? I want these to count down. 4, 3, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just taking a card. Okay. They are going to take the lowest card, so they're going to start here, take this one. They got a lot of red this game. I'm going to take this 3 and put it here. Hope I'm doing this all right. They are going to take the lowest card, which will be this one. I am then going to take this 4, change the color of all cards to red. I'm going to play this one. Oh, that's not good. Oh, well. Actually, I guess I should then play it and change this to red now. I didn't do well with colors, so that might be where I lose. This one's gone. And then finally, they are going to flip to highest and take this 5. It didn't matter. It's funny. And I take this 8 and play this here. And the 8 is then gone at the end of the round. Okay, so now we are going to score. We're going to look at theirs. And we can get rid of 3 cards of our choice. So we've got yellow pretty wrapped up. We don't have to worry about that. Cat, stop. Green, if we get rid of one of theirs, they can't score. And blue will get rid of 2. I think it didn't help me necessarily, but we'll see. Okay. So we're going to score them. So they got 42 plus 15 is 57. Then if we look, I actually have 4 reds, huh? What happens if I do that? If I do that, then we actually tie. So if we tie, we both get... Because it has to be 2 or more cards. So I actually have 4, and they have 4. Is tie second, or is tie split the points? Position they have tied for. So we each get 4. So they're going to get 4 points here. They're going to have more blue. They're going to get 8. They don't have enough. You have to have 2 to score green, and they don't have more yellow than me. So they're going to get 4 plus 8. They're going to get 12 more points to go to 69. So I got to beat 69. So now let's do my score. All right, things that don't appear. So that's going to be worth 7, 8. These 5s. Nope. 13, 21, 30. So really good in that column because they scored 22. So we have 30. Then here we score points, and it just counts down, so we're good. I didn't get any of these the same, right? All right, so 8, 15, 26, 29. That's another one. So we have 59 right there. And then we have 5 4s. So that's going to be 79. So 79 points. And then I'm going to score my regions. So I get yellow. That's going to give me 87 because I'm going to get 8 there. And I tied for red, so that's going to get me 4 for 91. I can't claim any of the others because I don't have enough. I don't have 2 greens adjacent to each other, which was this play here. So I could have put that there, but then I wouldn't have as big a red region, so it was kind of all the same. So they had 69, and I had 91. Now, had I not been able to discard these cards, right? So normally you can discard some number. They would have scored this to go up to 77, and I would have... they would have gotten plus 4. So it would have been 73, I would have been 87. And if they scored this one, I would have been 87, they would have been 81, I believe. So had I given them some of those cards back, it looks like I still would have won. So that is the idea of Tir na Nog as well. So really neat game. It's a puzzle game. It reminds me of something like Sudoku. A couple goofs I had in the middle, so I may have overscored for what I did. I tried to make up for them. It's just the difficulty of being on camera and trying to focus on something that's so puzzly, which I'm not concerned about. I still show off the game. So really neat. You can check this one out. I think this is generally sold out a lot of places, but you can find it on theirs, the Kickstarter as well, and whatnot, or look for it from retail places. Like I said, I bought this in Washington, D.C. at Labyrinth Games and Puzzles after playing the copy that we reviewed because it was fantastic and I wanted to own a copy of it. So really neat, and I love the art and whatnot. All right, there you go, everybody. That's about an hour and a half of some solo gaming and talk through. Let me know, are there games that you have played from this year that you are loving that I should check out? Are there some of the ones that I showed off at the beginning of the video? So if you go back and you watch and you say, oh, I really want you to play this one, let me know. And I can try to fit some of those in as I build a little bit of schedule. Friday mornings are a good clear time for me to do some of that. But Matthew will also come back, I think, in mid-September, and we'll play Universus and things live again as well. So you can check those out. Maybe some Star Wars, just fun to have another person to play with. As far as the crew, maybe we'll sneak in some games of Marvel Champions this weekend. We'll have to see with the long weekend and the holiday weekend in the States here. Might be a shot to do that. I thought I was going to be a little bit busier than I am this weekend, so not too bad on that front. Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I still owe a Marvel Champions villain marathon to people. It just got tricky with all the other events and things, so I've just got to stick it on the calendar and do it. But it's a lot of planning to have everything ready to go. I've got to have a table here with everything set up and go and have a spot for food and things. So it is still in my brain that I owe that to people. I said that it would be late June, then July. I did not say August, so I've just got to plan it and go for it. So thanks so much. If you're in the Connecticut area, stop by the portal anytime, or if you're Play Marvel Champions, September 21st, we're going to do a release party for Nightcrawler, who's coming out, so it should be a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me this morning. Thanks for watching afterward, everybody. If you want to like the video, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. They're fun things for me, so I appreciate anybody that does, but it's not of imminent importance, luckily. So I always just appreciate people joining along for the fun, especially when I can be live and whatnot. So thank you. We will see you around. Until next time, I'm the Brandt, and I hope you step into the portal. Have a great weekend, everybody.